right, good morning, folks. We have FSD 10.4 beta, as you can see there, and there's the release notes. I did a whole video on this just last night, so I will let you can watch that video as you want to. I'll put a card in the corner, and also I'll probably make that the last video, or the last the end card. That's the word I was looking for. It's early in the morning still, what can I say? Anyway, I'm going to navigate to work here and test out version 10.4 of the software, and then I'm going to navigate to a couple of places downtown, maybe just one place and then back home. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I want to give this thing a chance and see what interesting things we learn, since there are supposed to be, especially VRU is supposed to be substantially better, which is vulnerable road users. And so I want to make sure that we have a chance to test it out with some pedestrians at the very least. So hit the wrong button. There we go. Sometimes I have like this physical dyslexia where sometimes I push the left when I should push the right. So anyway, so we are now in autopilot, as you can tell from these two things being blue, and we will see how this does. I will probably, I don't know. I think it's kind of boring for people to watch these full videos, so I will probably just cut to where anything interesting happens. And I don't know if people are really concerned that I'm somehow cherry picking. Generally, I actually cherry pick the problem areas. So it's the opposite of what you might think if you are skeptical about all of this. But I will probably cut to where there are issues and show that. But if anybody's interested, you can always email me or just say in the comments. I can always post the full video and you can watch it to your heart's content. Okay, light just turned green, and it is, I would say, a little slow, but it's okay. All right, and making a turn. Still a little bit on the jerky side. What I noticed with the turns is that, gosh, the highway turns, like the lane changes, are actually pretty good. They're very, it's like it's planning the entire lane change all at once. The turns in the city feel much more like it's planning the turn second by second. So it's like, oh, turn this much, oh, turn this much. I do have my hand on the wheel. It's very hard to get the exact right amount of pressure on the wheel. I wish that the camera would work a little bit more aggressively, because I'm definitely looking at the road. But anyway, what I was saying was that the turn, it's like it turns a little bit, and then it turns a little bit, and then it turns a little bit. And so it's recalculating the turn throughout the turn. Okay, that was nothing there. All right, thus far we've had a little bit of an interesting thing, but anyway, so instead of making a smooth turn and just essentially projecting out the, I don't know why it's deciding to change lanes now in the middle of the road. That was a very weird lane change. It was okay, but I don't even think that was legal, actually. I don't think you're supposed to turn or cross lanes in the middle of an intersection. But anyway, it's feeling a little bit tweaky right now. I don't know if I've driven on this road before, honestly, with full self-driving beta, and like I've said before, I'm not sure there is anybody else who's driving full self-driving beta in Athens. Certainly not anybody who's making it publicly available, as far as I know. But so it is possible this is the first time that this full self-driving beta has ever driven on this particular stretch of road before. So I'm about to merge in with the part that it actually, now it's like merging over again. That is actually correct. I'm going to give this, okay, this could be actually good, because one of my big complaints with 10.3 was it was not planning ahead early enough. The lane that it was in is a turn lane, and that could be a really good indication. Let's just wait and see if it does it a little bit more. But that could be a really good indication. So you see how right over here it says turn lane, and lane actually ends, but it's a turn lane. But anyway, that would indicate that it's got some concept of the fact, I really wish it would slow down a little bit sooner for these situations. It's obvious that it's going to have to stop. It's okay. It's just one of those things. I would start slowing down about 1 second to 2 seconds earlier, just so it wouldn't have to be quite so aggressive, but it was fine. But anyway, as you can see, the right-hand lane is a turn lane, and I have a feeling 10.3, even though I haven't driven this stretch before, would have been in that lane until about now, and then would have said, oh crap, I've got to get over into the lane next to it. So that could be a really good sign that 10.4 is doing a better job of doing more longer-term planning ahead. So that would be very exciting. All right, so let's see how this thing works. We are pretty much, oh cool, to follow route. Okay, I don't know why it says it's doing it to follow route. I would actually think it might be doing it to go into a slightly faster lane. I guess eventually this lane, I'm not positive, it's a long ways away. It'd be a mile away or so if it actually does become a right turn only lane. So I don't know. It may actually just been doing that just to go into a faster lane. But anyway, so far it's worked well, except for that one weird little phantom braking thing just for a second when it beeped at me. I have no idea what that was about, but anyway, it didn't even, as far as I could tell, it didn't even show anything. It just flashed real quick. It just beeped. So maybe it was mad at me for not looking at the road, but I'm pretty sure it was. I am wearing sunglasses, which you can see here. So maybe it's having a little bit harder time. Oh, here comes a Tesla Model Y up ahead of us with some Georgia flags on it. So there you go. And Atlanta Falcons flag. So there you go. Cool. All right. Oh, into faster lane. Cool. So this is definitely a faster lane change. Now, it is getting itself into a little bit of trouble here. Not now. Gosh, I'm going to end up doing this as the entire drive, I guess. We'll see if we cut anything. But anyway, this lane, not this light, but like 2 or 3 lights ahead of us, it is going to... Now, of course, it should have stayed in the middle lane at this point because it's now in a slower lane than it would have been. But anyway, this lane in a couple of lights, so maybe a half a mile ahead of us, is going to have to become a left turn only lane. So, okay. Woo. Wow, that was pretty aggressive. I put this into standard mode back for a while, and it wasn't quite assertive enough to drive in Georgia. So I put it back in assertive mode. So if anybody's complaining, I did try it in standard mode, and it just felt a little too wussy. But I mean, it was assertive. The person behind us, I know you can't see because the camera's only forward. I am looking into getting a 360 camera to mount somewhere so that you can see the back if I need to show you that. But I haven't determined what the best solution is. I actually need to probably talk to somebody like AI Driver because I think that he's got a pretty cool one. But anyway, here you can see it's shifted into the middle lane. The left lane is going to be a turn-only lane here at this next light, which is a red light at this point. So you can see on the left, it's a left turn-only lane. So it actually did really well. So the biggest complaint I had with the last version of this software, which was the first one I drove, admittedly, was that it was not planning ahead on the route with enough leeway to get into the lane it needed to get into. So it kept getting itself stuck in sort of emergency situations where it would have to make a lane change right away. And Georgia drivers are absolutely not going to let people do that. They're not the friendliest drivers in the world. They're not like, please take get in front of me. So okay, so there's this is the part of this is the road actually that scares me the most. Not this part yet, but a little bit closer into downtown. It becomes exceptionally narrow, and I don't know if the video will do it justice, but it is pretty impressively narrow. So there's construction going on the other side of the road. I may try to come back this way so that it has to deal with that, because that'll be interesting to see. So I don't know what it is doing right now. Okay, it started to change lanes. Okay. Woo. This is exactly where it starts to get really narrow, so sorry. It palpitates my heart just to, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna just turn this down a little bit. So I know people get mad at me about it being a little faster than the speed limit, but that's just if you look at the traffic flow, that's what everybody drives. So it should stop here. Good. Okay. A little more aggressively than it needed to, but it definitely safely handled that light change. And I'm curious why it has decided it needed to stop way back here. I'm just going to allow that to roll. So I don't know why. It also says this. You can see that it's supposed to go straight, so I don't know exactly why it's got the, I don't know. I would take it out of cruise control out of full self-driving right now if I was not driving for this video, but I'm curious to see what it does with this. I don't know why it's saying that it wants to change lanes when clearly the navigation shows it should go straight forward. So we will see. All right, if nothing else, I'll probably just fast forward through this because the light, oh, actually, no, it's just about to change. So there will be a left turn that's coming up. So I might fast forward through this. We'll see. But this part of the road is very, very narrow from here pretty much into downtown, where I will have to turn to get to my office. And I will then afterwards make us go, you can see up ahead the downtown, it's a small skyline, but it's actually rather attractive up there. But I'll have us drive through downtown a little bit. This is a Monday morning, by the way, and it's a little bit, oh, that was interesting. The left turn arrow just turned on, and it kind of just thumped a little bit like it was thinking about moving, but then you can see that the main lights are still registered as red. So let's see. Doesn't appear to be too busy right now. I'm gonna give it 1 second. Nope, it's gotta go. Okay, I don't know why. Oh gosh, whew, that was a little freaky. I did have to tap the accelerator there. I don't know. Thank goodness that guy behind me didn't honk right away. I guess I do have my cool student driver, my AI and training student driver bumper sticker on the car, and people have been much kinder to it lately. And you can get your own. I'll put a link in, well, the link is in the description, but I'll put a picture of it up there so you can take a look at it yourself. But it's kind of cool, especially if you have the full self-driving. Okay, that was phantom braking for no reason, but again, this is incredibly narrow. This road, you can see it's kind of hugging the double yellow, which I would not do. I would actually hug the center line personally, but we'll see how it handles this. Again, I'm trying not to touch this as much as possible, and again, wow, it's very aggressive. I think this must be because it's in assertive mode. I think it wouldn't be changing lanes quite so frequently if it wasn't in assertive mode. And this is, I don't know. I guess it's all very narrow, but this is all exceptionally narrow. So I'm curious how it's going to get to, oh, it's going to turn on Lumpkin Street. Okay. Again, not probably the navigation that I would take, but there's nobody behind me, and it's handling this all fine. So the only thing I've had to do so far in terms of interventions is just tapping the accelerator to tell it to go ahead, and I don't know, it was in that weird thing where it actually had a right turn signal and then it immediately got into the left lane, so that was very bizarre. So, all right, it should turn here. We got the walkway, there's no pedestrians, so that's good. And you can see my hand. Okay, so there's pedestrians, but they're on the sidewalk. So, and it is showing them, so that's good. Always good to see that it's showing the pedestrians here. So on campus, of course, we are between classes right now, so it won't be all that crowded, but there's probably still going to be some random person who's going to decide to run out in front of us. We'll see. It happens a lot. Ooh, that was very nice. Wow. I mean, that was like right on it. As soon as that lane opened up, it was like, I'm in there. So let's see how it handles this. It's only showing one guy walking up there as opposed to two, but that doesn't really matter since they're sort of blocked. It was showing the other guy next to that truck too, so it's doing a good job so far. Alrighty, and we should get a green arrow here soon, so it's not going to be unprotected. Oh, there's a Nissan Leaf over there. There you go. EVs unite, right? All right, let's see if it, I believe that, I don't think it's a flashing yellow. I think you automatically get the green arrow. I don't usually come this direction anymore. It's been a while. And see, you can see this guy's coming across the road. Probably, oh, I sort of figured, yep, there it was. He was still on the road. Students are fairly aggressive about going across the road when the lights are, woo, okay. That was a little funky. Again, you can see what it did was it kind of made it halfway through the turn and then recalculated the arc. It would be really nice, I don't know, this is going to have to be programmatic rather than neural network wise, but, or maybe the neural networks eventually will smooth it out, because I know that Elon Musk talks a lot about getting rid of jerk, and in the turns is where it has the most jerk, where it kind of like goes, right? So it would be interesting, okay, that was interesting. It thought about going into the left turn lane. But anyway, I think it'll be interesting to see how they will smooth this out. Because one way to do it would be to programmatically do it and just say, like, you have to calculate the entire arc of the turn to start with. But the other one is, if the neural net gets smart enough and you give it a high enough cost function for making jerky turns, it will do it. Okay, so again, yeah, it's it's like recalculating. I am almost, okay. It stopped a little aggressively for that young lady who's going across the street, but not too bad. And I'll be curious to see if it decides it wants to do this right. Well, now it's green again, so didn't have to contest with that. So I'm going to take it out of autopilot here because I don't think it understands the parking lot, but I'm going to give it another destination here in just a second. So I am at work. It did take me here, and the only intervention was tapping the accelerator. There's another Nissan Leaf. Was tapping the accelerator. So that was pretty darn cool that it was able to do that. Okay, I am going to go, because I know these places, I've got them in my, I've got them in. So let's do active climbing. All right, It's going to route us. I'm going to get us out of the parking lot first. But this should take us through, yeah, you can see the route is pretty jaggedy. So it'll take us through some downtown. Hopefully we will see some pedestrians. Not that I want to hit anybody, but I just want to see how it works. Okay, so now let's put it into autopilot and wait for the light. So it has handled this pretty well. Usually on my way home, I go to the right instead of the left here, but that gets me out of the downtown area very rapidly, which is very, very convenient for going home, but not nearly as good for, you know, oh, here we go. Okay. Not nearly as good for driving through the city and, you know, testing things out. So it should go into the right lane here. I have a feeling it's going to go into the left. Yep. And then it's going to have to make a lane change. So let's see how it does that. I'm not touching it. It is okay. If there was traffic, fortunately there was nobody there, and now we are sitting in between two lanes. That is not what I would consider to be an ideal situation. I'm actually going to I'm going to disengage just because there's people behind me and I want to be more firmly in a lane. So anyway, it would have been fine in that position, but I didn't want to be rude to the drivers behind me. If there hadn't been anybody there, I would have let it sit. But anyway, so count that as a disengagement or not. So here we go. Wow, it is really hugging this middle line. There are a lot of shrubs over there. So, and let's see if this young lady or young man, I guess, sorry, I thought you might be. Sorry, eyesight. All right. And, oh, wow. Okay. It's just, wow. Okay, that was, all right. I don't know what the hell that was. That was completely unnecessary. It was just, it just decided it was going to slow way down there. I did turn down the velocity, the speed just a little bit, but I don't know what the heck it was thinking. So anyway, I'm going to turn it down a little bit just to help out the situation here, because we are driving through town. So I may, you know what? Okay. I'm taking this out of autopilot only to force it to navigate a different route that's going to take us more through the city. So I think that will be helpful. So that's not the car's fault at all. I just want to give it a little bit more of a challenge. This is kind of skirting the edge of town, and I kind of want to make it, I want to force it to go through town. So, okay. Gotta just pull the way out. Alrighty. So let's see how it handles this. All right, so one of the things I wanted to force it to do was to deal with this, because cars sometimes, even though there's these little dotted dash, like that guy right there, you can see. All right, let's see if it handles this. Okay, it's handling it okay, and here comes a truck. You can see just how narrow this is. So it's kind of hugging the left a little bit more than I would like, but it's doing okay. And I'm going to knock the speed limit down again, because I just don't want anything. This like freaks me out. Believe me, it freaks me out driving myself through here, because people are backing out all the time. People are sticking out. People often will park trucks. Oh gosh, this truck is really close to us. Oh gosh. I'm sorry. No, it's like not touching the steering wheel. Did not disengage there. It did pretty well. And okay, let's see if it brakes. Yep, it should brake, so that's good. Okay. Excellent. All right. I think I'm also going to I'm going to manually take it out. Well, maybe not. Oops. I don't know what that person's doing, but I'm going to take it out of autopilot and I'm going to force it again to go through more scary downtown stuff. So, all right. So again, putting it in autopilot, a little bit of, it's rerouting really fast now, by the way. I'm noticing that. Dirty Tesla talked about that last night on his video, and he was like, man. So you can see there's a lot of construction, so there's all sorts of crazy things going on, and it hopefully we'll be able to handle all of this quite nicely. And oh, there was the Jeep that was beside us that for some reason didn't make I don't know what it's doing. Oh, interesting. Woo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Don't hit the barrier. Okay, that was good. All right. I mean, it handled that. I don't know quite why it decided it needed to be in the right lane, but it is interesting on assertive mode. It definitely is more like me, because I constantly change lanes to try to move into the fastest lane or get into the best position. So this is a very, very calm downtown. I'm a little disappointed that there are not more pedestrians out right now. Maybe the pedestrians aren't disappointed. Maybe they're happy that they're not out here. But the car actually deals really well with pedestrians. But anyway, okay, so that was a good move. Ooh, all right, that was not a good move. That was very jerky. So I'll give it a little feedback there, and it's doing, oh gosh, do you see the guy's car door open? I don't know that it saw that. I think that was not fantastic. And I don't know what the hell it's doing right now. And there's cars, oh gosh. All right. Okay, that was terrible. Oh my gosh, that was just awful. Admittedly, it made it through that turn, but that was anything but great. Again, nobody was near me or behind me, so it was okay, but holy mackerel, that was really bad. So, wow. that was like a 15-point turn. It was like going all over the place. I think what it was doing was it was confused about what lane. Again, that road I have never driven on before. So I'm forcing this thing to drive on roads that it has never driven on before. And again, I do not believe anybody else in the fleet is driving on these roads. So I think that we're in a situation where it's having to navigate through some pretty crazy stuff that it hasn't seen before. So that's pretty impressive. I very much appreciate the fact that they're doing a good job. So nice job so far on all of this Tesla. And really I've had to tap the accelerator once, I think, and I can't recall if okay, again, it's hugging the center line, or the white dashed line. I guess it's okay because nobody's close by. But again, these roads are very, very narrow, and it's a little bit into traffic more than I would certainly do, but it's okay. I also have a feeling that if I watched myself drive, I would constantly be weaving back and forth depending on the situation, and I would actually not mind that. All right, so we're going to turn down the road to the climbing gym that I go to, and I probably won't go all the way there because it's just a straight shot after that, and probably won't be as interesting, so then I'll turn around. So and then push us back into downtown, and then hopefully take us back on Broad Street, because I want to see how it handles that one construction spot. So I'll see what I can do about forcing it to go there. All right. Ooh, wow, that was really close to that pole. All right, again, a lot of people parked out here. I know, San Francisco has even narrower roads, but this is doing pretty darn well. All right. So I'm going to go down here. There's a stop sign. I'm going to turn left and disengage it. But that will be me doing it, not the... Okay, so here's a car going backwards on the road. Oh, gosh. It's a little bit... Okay, taking out of autopilot. That was nothing to do with anything. Like I said, I'm just going to turn left here to force it to go to a different path. So let me think about where I want to go here. I might actually just take it home. So, all right, let me just pull over here. Don't want to be in the way of traffic when I'm thinking about where to go. So, okay, let's say Belk. Let's just take it to the mall. Hopefully, I think this one, yeah, 4.9 miles. That'll work. All right, let's wait for it to engage. I'm gonna quickly check while I'm parked. I guess I am in park. I'm just gonna check the camera. Oh, good. It has been recording. One significant problem with my camera setup is that I can't tell if it's recording. So, all right, let's put it in drive. Actually, you know what? Let's just, nope, it's not going to let me autopilot yet. So, all right. This is interesting that it's going to take me right instead of left. All right, now it will let me autopilot, so. All righty. I actually think I'm going to force it to go left up here instead of right, so I'm going to disengage autopilot again. But again, that's just me forcing it to go a different direction, because otherwise it's going to go on the highway, and the highway is boring because that's still using the same old stack, so it's the same thing you've seen a lot of times. So more fun if it's driving in the city. So again, I'm going to disengage it, but that's just going to be me trying to screw around with the route that the thing's trying to go on. All right, so disengaging just so I can get left and force it back onto Broad Street. Alrighty. And again, I'm just going to leave it out of autopilot until it reroutes itself to go through town. If autopilot had a brain, it would be mad at me right now, because it'd be like, stop changing everything that I keep trying to do. Alrighty, it's been really good so far, folks. I'm very impressed with this. It has driven a whole bunch of roads that it has never driven on before. I'm going to start to run out of those eventually. I'm purposely not driving on autopilot on several of the roads, just so that I make sure that I have ones when new versions come out that I can test it out. So anyway, but it's doing really well. All right, of course it's a little slow here, and let's see if I may have to take it down past here. Yeah, I'm just going to drive it myself here for a little bit. I may skip this part because it's not that interesting, but I don't want it to try to do a U-turn or something. Let's see if it updates itself after I go past this road here. Hopefully it'll decide it doesn't want to go on the highway anymore. All right, there we go. Okay, still not correct. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's still going on the highway. So, all right, so I need to go through this light too. Sorry, I know it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but I will get us through here. All right. You get to see the new medical building. Athens, at least something's doing well in town. always the doctors are doing okay. Okay, as soon as we get up here, I'm going to, well, I guess I'll be stuck here for a while, but I'm going to make a left and force it down here, and then it will put it back onto Broad Street again. I'm trying to think, actually, you know what, as long as this light is off, I'm just going to go and force it into another way. Red Tesla, all right. Let's see. It's been a while since I've driven down here myself. I've got to think about where a good, oh yeah, right up here where the pizza place is, and the Normal Bar. If you come to Athens, go to the Normal Bar. It's a really good bar, right up there where it says Normal. Alrighty. So yeah, once I take a left up here, I can re-engage the autopilot. Gosh, at this point, I'm probably just going to do this as a whole uncut video. I apologize if it's boring. I'll try to put chapters in to like let you like skip the boring sections. But anyway. Hopefully once I turn here, it'll force it to go a different direction. Are you going to slow down? Of course not. Why would he slow down? All right. Let's see how fast it reroutes itself here. Not the super fastest in the world. Still thinking about it. There we go. Okay. Gosh, it still wants to go. All right. I'm just going to put it in autopilot for now. Sorry. This is what happens by not putting in a destination that forces it to go on the city streets. But all right, so it's back in autopilot. Again, I'm going to. There's a spot up here where I'll take a left. I think it's where the red light is. So anyway, I used to live around here actually a long time ago. That banana tree is quite beautiful. Wow. The frosts have not arrived yet, as you can tell. It's getting later and later every year. If you don't think climate change is happening, you should definitely pay attention to that. All right. Oh yeah, I'm going to take this out of autopilot again manually, just because I want to force it through these little roads back here. But we will have some fun. I need to make some better routes that I can just. The problem is that we have this loop highway, and if you're not careful, it will always navigate to that highway because it's the fastest way to get around, because as you can tell, the city streets are pretty crazy and everything. So it likes to do that. So it's really hard. Elon Musk, eventually, if you give us waypoints, I can force it to go places by waypoints. I'm curious how it's going to handle this little roundabout. Oh gosh. I don't want it to go right. Darn it. Sorry. Disengaging just because I want it to go straight again. There's another roundabout up here. I just want it to like, this is really annoying. All right, I'm just gonna put it on autopilot navigation. I don't know why you're thinking about turning right now. Oh, it's not seeing the bump. Oh gosh. Okay, that was bad. All right. This is what I wanted to see, was how it handles this. And I'm gonna have my foot right on the brake because, okay. Yeah, that was not fantastic. Admittedly, it wasn't navigating anywhere, but I was like, geez. All right, let's reroute back to Belk again. But it doesn't look like it's seeing these bumps either, which was a significant problem before. Again, I know I'm sort of giving it like a lot of stuff to have to think about here, but it at least should be negotiating these bumps better. Okay. All right, let's see. Stop effective. So it's not rolling the stops. I know it says on assertive mode that it can roll stops, but it has not done that yet. So you can see a bump coming up. I want to see if it notices that. I'm going to slow it down just because. But I don't know. It's kind of sort of handled the bump. Here comes another one coming up here. This is actually a good road to go on because it's got a lot of these. So let's see if it slows down. No. All right. A little disappointing, but also I've got it set to 25, and those bumps are pretty much set to 25. So I can't quite tell. I don't really want to take out the undercarriage of the car by trying to roll it through at a faster speed and see if it slows down. My old neighborhood where I used to live had speed bumps. Okay, so it just made a really wide turn, and now, okay, again, it made the turn, but not good. Okay, is it going to handle the static object? That's one of the things that 10.4 is supposed to be better about. That was very good. Definitely very good. Okay, with all that rerouting and messing around, it's now finally going to take us on a city street. Okay, and this is a weird stop sign. There's nobody else here, but it managed. Okay, cool. I mean, it's handling that okay. It's just kind of mostly weird. Oh, and here's a pedestrian in the road. Let's see if it sees her and avoids her. You can see it's routing around her. It's a little aggressive for my taste. It starts to pull back in again, just a hair too soon. Like, just as a kindness. Here comes a guy walking across the road. All right, it slowed down. It saw him. Excellent. Good job. Say, all we had to do was get out of downtown in order to see all of this stuff actually happen. Who knew? All right, and now we're going to go through Hawthorne. Wow, it's been a while since I've been here. Again, these are all completely new roads. This full self-driving beta, as far as I know, nobody else has driven it here. I certainly have not driven this car here before. So these are all brand new roads for this. So this is very cool to see it handling roads that it, as far as I know, has never seen before. Now, of course, there will be data from other Teslas, including me, not using the beta, but I think it's very cool how it's handling this. All right, so this is going to be interesting too, because this is one of those high-speed situations. So I want to see, this is one of the areas it's supposed to be advanced at. This is a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's driving like my kid when he learned how to drive. There is now a car behind us. Oh Lord, okay, I got to take it out. Sorry, there's a person behind me. I didn't want to be rude. Let's see. Won't let me re-engage. All right, slow down, buddy. Okay. All right, and now go. Okay. Yeah, sorry. That was definitely not good. And I would have let it figure itself out, but the person behind me was clearly trying to get into the right turn lane, and it would have caused a problem. This, by the way, though, that was cool. That was really cool what it just did. It just accelerated up to speed like gangbusters. So before, it was always just creeping out into, and then again, it was 40 miles an hour. So, you know, creeping out into traffic, but that time it accelerated away really, really well. That was excellent. All right, I expect the rest of the drive will be pretty boring. That was unfortunate. I think that might have been the only thing that I've had to disengage from. I wouldn't have had to do it except for the person behind me. I didn't want to endanger us or them, because the car was clearly trying to decide between the left and right lanes. Again, it had never seen that road before, and so I think that it was confused about the signage and it didn't know which lane to be in. Although, honestly, if you're making a right-hand turn, the pretty obvious solution is to go into the right lane. 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left, yellow. Okay, good. So you could see it went right through the yellow, no problem. I wonder if eventually the neural network will train itself to know that when there's a countdown on the walk sign. That's what I always do. I gauge whether I can go through the thing or not by looking at the little walk thing. If it's counting down, right? If it gets down to like 1 or something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to slow down and stop. So, but I wonder if the neural network, either by intention or just from repetition, is going to eventually learn to read the timer don't walk sign. That would be really cool if it does that. Super, super cool. All right, slow down just a hair there. I guess probably because we were going a little bit faster than we needed to since we were going down a hill. It wasn't phantom braking. It was completely fine. And now let's see what it does. Yep, it's actually braking earlier there. That was really nice. Oh gosh, we went to all these car dealerships over the weekend. I think I've said before, my son got into a very bad collision. It wasn't his fault at all, but they totaled out the car, and the used car market is so bad right now. We can't find a car. So if anybody happens to have a car that they want to sell in the southeast of the country and want to sell it at a reasonable price, we would be happy to talk to you about it, because man, it is rough out there trying to find a car, and we're paying a fortune every day for a rental car for him because he's got to go to work. So it's tough. Anyway, enough of that stuff, right? But oh, dismiss the text messages here. All right, so again, like I said, I don't expect this to be too revelatory the rest of this drive. I will be interested to see how it handles. This is a shopping mall. I put Belk, which is a department store for anybody who doesn't know who's outside this area. But I put that in, and I'll be curious to see how it handles going into the parking lot. I'm going to let it ride a little bit further to go into the parking lot here. So, all right. So this is all stuff that this car has driven many, many times before. And also you can see it's much, much larger. Plenty of space, big lanes, nothing like downtown. Downtown Athens is scary. I still have not taken it on one road, and maybe I'll do it with 10.4 and test it, but it scares the hell out of me. It's an absolutely blind turn. I think it just thought about making a lane change, which actually I would be doing, because you can see there's a U-Haul van and another, sorry about the text messages. There's a U-Haul van and a truck up in front, so I would have actually gotten into the middle lane because I expect that'll be faster, but it's driving, so we'll let it do what it wants to do. All right. Working our way in here. I feel like, we got any questions? Anybody want to do anything? I need a drink, man. I've been talking for too long. I think I've been on the road for a while. Just got my hair cut too, by the by. I don't know if you can see it. So, haircut. Doing an interview with Sandy Monroe on Monroe Live. I don't know when it's going to go live, because it is actually not live, but I'm doing the recording later this week, so I'm just wanted to get a haircut so I would look extra nice for Sandy. So there you go. I'm really excited about that, by the way. I'm super excited. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and hit the bell notification icon, you should definitely do that. But also subscribe to Monroe Live, because that way you will definitely see it. But of course, I will, on Twitter and whatnot, I will make sure that people know when it goes on to there. So anyway, I'm really excited. I can't wait to find out what topics he wants to talk about. His assistant threw out some ideas to me, and I was like, oh gosh, these are all things that Sandy's an expert on, not me, like manufacturing and stuff. And I was like, I don't know. So it did. It said it was thinking about changing lanes, but there's a person right in the left lane there. So I don't think it's going to want to do that now. It should honestly, because it's got to turn in 0.4 miles. It should just hang out in this lane. There's no real reason for it to try to move around at this point. Especially because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6 lights before it has to change. It's pretty crazy. It's no wonder that my son got into the accident here. Again, not his fault at all, but it's just the traffic in this area is just ridiculous. And the turns are ridiculous. They should actually block off a lot of the turns and force people to turn at the lights. The danger comes when people are turning outside of where the lights are. They're just turning across multiple lanes of traffic with other things blocked. There's also this bizarre thing with this truck. Ooh, okay, all right, sorry, dude. Okay, so it's trying to get into this lane. Okay, if you're gonna get in there, buddy, you gotta slow down. Okay. All right, I did tap on the accelerator there just because it was braking pretty violently, and I didn't want the person behind us to potentially hit us. It should get over into this lane right now. There's nobody back here, so I'm gonna let it do its thing. All right. Okay. It has not ever done this before either, so wow, that was actually, it was a little late getting into the lane, but that was okay. And I have no idea where it thinks Belk is. Belk is, well, actually it's to the left, so it's actually doing okay. I'm just gonna let it keep on going. So this is more or less a parking lot, but it is a road here at the edge. And it's taking a really long time to turn here, but especially considering there's literally nobody around in either direction. So we've got some very, very faint white lines, and oh, look at you. All right, I wanna make sure it doesn't hit any of these curbs. Ooh, that was really close. And there's Belk, holy mackerel. I'm not sure where it's going to end its full self-driving autopilot. I don't know quite what it's doing. I think it might drop us at the door. Well, that's pretty cool. Let's see if it actually takes us to the door. Of course, I would normally, if I was actually going to Belk, take it out. Okay, it's complete. What a great job. I mean, I really feel like 10.4, Again, 10.3 was the only version that I had personally driven before, and man, all I have to say is if 10.4 from 10.3 is an indication of what their point releases are like, I may have to revise my statement, because I'd said 12 to 18 months for it to get to level 4 full self-driving, where you could just, you know, go to sleep in the car and not have to worry about it. Man, I mean, if they keep crunching ahead, if 10.5 is as big of a jump as 10.4 was from 10.3, and then, you know, 11 or whatever comes up next, I think we could get there in 12 months. I think that might actually even still be a little conservative, but I'm going to say after this data point, so I now have 2 data points. I have 10.3 and 10.4. And after 2 data points, I'm going to say that I believe that we will probably get there in more like 12 months. And let's see what 10.5 or version 11 or whatever the next version that they come out with. Version 11 should be really big, because that's going to be putting the it's going to be putting this new neural network stack on the highway. So there may be some, you know, going back and forth issues with that, because of course it's going to be using a whole new system with vision only and everything on the highway. I think it's using vision only on the highway right now too, because it is forcing me to stay 2 car lengths behind people in front of me, and that is a vision only thing, and also restricting my max speed to 80 miles per hour. I tested that out just by rolling it up just to see. So it is doing those things, but yeah, I think I may have to revise my figure down. I did say 12 to 18 months, so I'm going to move it down to the 12-month mark. So we are at the beginning of November of 2021, so let's just call it the beginning of November of 2022 when it can get to L4. Again, I'm not saying legally it will be allowed to do that, but that it will be a situation where effectively I can say, here's where I want to go. It doesn't matter what I'm going to drive through, city traffic, crazy things, and it will be able to handle that, and I'll just get to my destination. Don't know about the parking still. That's a whole separate issue. But aside from the whole parking thing and everything, I think that we really are I'm super impressed. That was an amazing advance in a single point release. That's really, really impressive. So great job, Tesla. I am super impressed. Great job on their Carpathian team. And I know they have absolutely been killing themselves trying to get through this, to, you know, push these things out for people. I don't know quite what to do here. Okay, I guess I'll sign off. I don't have this thing on autopilot right now, but there's a police car in front of us. There's a UPS car. There's a lot of funkiness. It actually would have been nice if the autopilot was going right now, but anyway, it's not. So I'm not going to force it to start right in the middle of that with a police car staring at us. So anyway, I will sign off. Thank you for joining me on such a very long drive, but I thought it was really cool to actually have a chance to talk about this and to really see it, and it was much more impressive than I thought it was going to be. So I think it's valuable to just go ahead and just show you this entire video. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. If you did, definitely like and subscribe, and, you know, always feel free to ask me questions in the comments or at my email address, and feel free to join me on Patreon. You know the drill. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.